All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the brand new 2024 iPhones in this bag. First up, oh wait, how'd that get there? Here we go. Okay, so today we're gonna be looking at both the iPhone 16 Pro and the iPhone 16. What is the differences between these phones? Should you even upgrade from your 15 Pro or your iPhone 15? We're gonna unbox them and we're gonna answer a few different questions, and I'll share with you guys what my first impressions are. Right now, these are the latest and greatest from Apple, but is this a significant upgrade? So usually when I do these videos, in the past, it's always been on the day where all the pre-order shipments come in, but today, Apple blessed us, boys. We made it. We made it to 100K, by the way, if you're watching. And I think we're like 101K now. You guys are killing it. So let's just jump into these guys. Okay, first up, let's take a look at the iPhone 16. Okay, so this year there's a few different colors. We talked about this in my last video, the teal, the ultramarine, black, white, and pink. So honestly, in the keynote, the ultramarine looked the best to me. And I was like, this is a sick blue. But when I went to the actual Apple briefing today, I looked at the ultramarine, fantastic color, don't get me wrong, but the teal actually caught my eye more. So I'm actually really glad that they hooked up the teal today. So let's go ahead and take a look at this and see what we're playing with here. Yeah, this is just how I remember it in the Apple event. Man, this thing looks so clean. I absolutely love how they've made the back of this matte as well with the iPhone 16. This thing is just, So right off the bat, you notice that there's this lighter teal color here, but then you have the slightly darker version over here, slightly darker hits on the actual camera lens bump here. And then you also have the slightly darker sides here, right? And you can see that really complements this whole two-tone look of this phone quite well. I think this year, and I'll share in this video why I think it is, but I think iPhone 16 is the one to get this year. But this might be it. So this is the 16 Plus, by the way. Sorry, I should have probably clarified that initially. Let's take a look at the size difference compared to my 15 Pro Max, and it's pretty much the same. Let's go ahead and, let's go. New iPhone day. Okay, we're gonna set this up. But actually, before I set it up, how does this feel in my hand? This feels like previous gen iPhones, okay? I'm gonna be honest. The phone does feel a little bit lighter than the Pro models, I will say that. It feels a little easier to carry in your hands, like especially when you're using like a phone this big, right? Like the Plus or the Pro Max. Having even a little bit of slight weight reduction is actually noticeable because my pinky's been taking a hit, bro. Like holding the phone like this, literally for the past year and the year before that, my pinky's done. This year we also have this camera control button. So let's go ahead and set up and actually take a look at that. But yeah, I mean, overall, in terms of design and everything, it's pretty much what we've been expecting for the most part, so nothing really significantly different. The whole Apple Intelligence stuff now, it's a little bit of a tricky situation because Apple's kind of touted these phones as like the new era of Apple Intelligence, right? But technically, we don't have access to Apple Intelligence until later this year, right? So we're getting some features in like October and then some maybe later on in the year, some maybe even next year. So we don't get all of them yet, which is kind of a bummer. But yeah, I mean, we do have a few new things. Like with the iPhone 16, we do have the action button now similar to last year's Pro model, which we didn't have in the last year base model. And also I gotta say, I am kind of shocked that they put this camera control button on this thing because I really thought that would be a Pro feature and then they would wait a year and then kind of bring it over to the base models, which is kind of like what a lot of these brands do. But this year, Apple just blessed the iPhone 16 with pretty much everything. And you're pretty much getting majority of what you're gonna get with the iPhone 16 Pro, but we'll get into that shortly. In the box, of course, you get your charging cable and your little pin because us in Canada, we still have the SIM card slot, which means we could probably sell this to you guys at a premium price. Okay, so let's go ahead and unbox this next device here. Here we go. This is the new color for this year, which is called Desert Titanium. Pretty much gold, it is very gold. It's really nice though, like don't get me wrong. But yeah, you pretty much, if you remember like 2 generations ago, or like, was it 3 generations ago, we have like a gold iPhone. It's pretty much exactly like that, except We have titanium sides now. It's nice though, it's nice, I gotta say. I really wanna see the other colors, so make sure you guys, so I always do like a colors video, so make sure you guys are subscribed because I'm gonna be getting all the colors in for both the iPhone 16 and the 16 Pro. We're gonna be comparing all of the colors, we're gonna be comparing sizes, everything. So anything you need to know, we're gonna hit at all of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and rip off the Band-Aid here. Okay, but there you have it, folks. These are two of the newest colors when it comes to the brand new iPhones. Let me know what you guys think about it. What do you guys think about the Desert Titanium, and what do you guys think about the teal color? I think these are pretty fire. Now, here's the thing. Apple has really stretched the bezels on these Pro models, right? So we're going from like 6.1 inches to 6.3 inches on this compared to prior year. And the Pro Max, which is what I was rocking last year, is going from 6.7 to like 6.9 or something like that, which is pretty good. Now the dimensions have changed slightly. So these phones have actually gotten a little bit bigger, which is why the video I'm gonna make on size comparisons this year, it's gonna be really interesting to watch. So make sure you guys watch out for that. Look. Do I notice the bezels being pushed to the extremities? I mean, if you look really closely, you can tell, right? Like, look at that. I don't know if I can get even closer to the camera. Like, you can tell that the bezels are a little bit thinner. Is it that noticeable? Honestly, if I didn't have like another iPhone to compare to, probably not. Maybe on the Pro Max, it feels a little bit more because you have the 6.9 inch screen, but with the Pro, it doesn't feel so. And the dimensions of this phone are actually really nice. I think this year, I might even just go Pro rather than the Pro Max, because last year, between the Pro Max and the Pro, we had a camera lens difference as well, which is why I went with a 15 Pro Max, because I also wanted the larger battery. I also wanted that extra 5x zoom lens camera. But this year, cameras across the board, functionality across the board is the same. So if you're on the fence or anything like that, just know that you're pretty much getting the same thing. Also, battery life on this has been extended. I think they said something like 3 to 5 hours more compared to prior year, which is very impressive. Now, what about between the 16 and the Pro? Which one should you get? Every year I kind of lean towards the Pro just because of what you're getting in that package. This year, I am shocked at everything that they've done to the 16. It makes the 16 the most popular option, I think, by far. For the value, what you're getting with the 16 is really great, right? The only things you're not getting with the 16 is some of the Pro camera features. Like if you don't know what, 4K 120 frames per second ProRes log or 4K ProRes log and all of those things, like you're not looking to get cinema quality footage coming out of your iPhone, you don't need it. The only thing that annoys the crap out of me on this phone, which I've commented on this and I have said this in my other videos as well, is it's criminal that we still have 60 hertz displays on the 16. Hopefully this is the last year. I'm hearing rumors this is the last year. Come on, Apple, like we gotta stop doing that, okay? Like I'm so happy they included the camera control button, they included the action button. The main lens on this is the exact same main lens you're gonna get pretty much with the Pro models. You don't get the 45 megapixel ultra-wide camera that's on the Pro. So if you do use ultra-wide lens a lot and you want high quality image, I mean, the ultra wide on this is plenty good and you should be fine. Like, unless you're trying to get like really good quality out of your phone, you don't need it. And the telephoto lens, if you're zooming in a lot on your photos, sure, maybe consider the Pro, but for the most part, I think you're gonna be fine with the 16. And yeah, so all in all, I think I would suggest go with the 16. Skip the Pro this year, unless you know that you want those professional video or photo features. Now, other than that, what about the 15 or the 15 Pro Max? Now, key thing to note here, Apple is not bringing Apple Intelligence features to any model in iPhone 15 and before. The 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max, the one I have from last year, those do get Apple Intelligence. So you're basically getting 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max, and then all of the iPhone 16s will get Apple Intelligence. So anything older than that, you won't have access to it. So my advice is, if you have an iPhone 15 or something like that, there's no rush because we don't get Apple Intelligence until like later this year anyways. No rush, but if you do want to experience that, start looking at one of the iPhone 16, or maybe even pick up a used iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max from last year, which will probably be on a decent sale. That will probably save you some money, and you can throw that into a case, or maybe buying some of my wallpapers. I'll have that linked in the description down below. You just bought a brand new iPhone, maybe check out some of my wallpapers. I shot them all on an iPhone, so it's kind of cool. Shot on iPhone for iPhone, and yeah, you support your boy. What more do you want? But yeah, if you're on the 15 Pro or Pro Max, honestly, not much reason to upgrade. In terms of the size of this phone, I think it just fits so perfectly well in your hands. This is a great size, especially for using like this camera control button and stuff, because I find that it's a slightly weird position because when I'm using the phone like this, I kind of want to like press somewhere a little bit lower here, right? Like this is where I'd be more comfortable to press. And this thing is slightly higher up. Now, when I'm holding the phone like this, I kind of want to press a little bit closer to the power button here, right? Like this is where my hand will naturally rest, but we have it somewhere in the middle. So I think Apple kind of just split the difference and said, hey, look, we're not gonna have the perfect position here, nor are we gonna have the perfect position here. So let's just go right in the middle and we'll figure it out. Now, what I did notice was with the larger phones, the Plus, and I'm assuming even with the Pro Max, it's a little bit tougher to use it, the camera control button like this, because you're pretty much like if I'm going to go press this over here, you're pretty much covering like part of the screen, right? Like, so you are, in order to use this in this mode, you're like, you have to cover part of the screen. Like, how are you gonna get around here, right? Unless you're like using it like this. Either way, part of the screen is gonna be covered, versus with the Pro, yeah, you're still gonna have that issue a little bit. But I mean, depending on hand size, you can get around. I gotta show you guys this camera control button, okay? So this is probably the first time some of you might be seeing this. So let me show you how this thing works. Okay, so first and foremost, you have this button here, right? So if I was to just simply like press it in, boom, it opens up my camera. So you have like a quick access camera button here. Now, something neat is you can actually map this to like different apps and stuff like that. So if you have different photo apps, you can map it to those. So if you press it once, it opens up camera. If you press it another time, you're gonna take your photo, right? So that's pretty much how it works. Now, it is touch sensitive. So what will happen is if you just press down a little bit, you'll notice that we get this little menu up front. So basically, if you press it down just a little bit, you get this option here, and then now you can use this actually like a slider, which is kind of neat. So there's I can zoom into my second, I can zoom into my 5x lens, right? And go back to my second, and then actually press it in to take the photo. And I actually found this quite neat. It's a cool to have feature, I guess. One thing I did note is that when I'm using this, right, sometimes it's like, well, why would I use that to go into like, so if I press this a little bit and use this to zoom, why not just use these like touch buttons right here? Wouldn't that be quicker? Because either way, you're using the phone with like both hands a lot of the time. So if I'm just like doing that, then why don't I just like change the setting on my screen with the other hand? I don't know, okay? I'm curious to see what you guys think. Do you think you're gonna use the camera capture button? Let me know in the comment section down below. In any case, that's it for the unboxing video. We have a lot of content planned for this phone. I'm gonna be doing like color comparisons, size comparisons, all sorts of comparisons to prior, comparisons within the lineup. So make sure you guys are subbed. Also, ooh, how does this gold look out in like this little sunset-y area? Ooh, that is a nice shimmer. In any case, if you like this video, check out one of these two videos, and I'll see you guys there. Peace.